Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
This is file number 25819SM, People versus Jesse Joseph O'Shea. Mr. O'Shea is charged with domestic violence second offense alleged to have occurred on March 3rd in the village of Colon. The person assaulted was someone he had a dating relationship with, Marissa Smith. This is charged as a second or subsequent offense, making it punishable by up to a year in jail. They charged 2 counts of that. Prosecutors agreed to dismiss all of those for a plea to 1 charge of domestic violence first offense. Domestic violence first offense is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. It carries no points, but it does carry a firearm restriction to use or possess a firearm, but you already have that. Are you going to plead to domestic violence first offense?
Yes, sir.
Anybody threaten you to get you to do that?
No, sir.
Or promise you anything?
No, sir.
You weren't here when I went through the advice of rights, and it doesn't appear that you have one there. So let me tell you, by pleading to this charge, you're giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. There will not be a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
If there was a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Ms. Ives is here with you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choice if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf. You don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent, unless the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand?
Yes, sir, I do.
Were you living in Colon at that time?
Yes, Your Honor, I was.
And you were dating a girl named Martha Smith? Marissa Smith?
Yes, sir.
And it says here that you got mad at her live-in girlfriend and grabbed her by the hair and choked her. She was actually taken to the hospital. Who called the police? So did you get into an argument with her?
Yes, sir, I did.
Did you pull her hair or choke her?
I did pull her hair and grab her by the neck. Yes, sir.
All right. Rhonda, you're here next Wednesday. I'm going to set this. It's a little early, but I'd like to allow the prosecutor. I'm going to set it for sentence June 4th at 11. Please provide notice to the prosecutor.
Is it possible we could do 11:30?
Yeah, your hearing's at 10:30.
It's actually at 11, but that guy's got like 12 cases.
Well, could we do it? Could we do it first? We'll do it at 10:30.
10:30, that's great.
All right. All right, you have a hold on you from Van Buren County. You've been in our jail for 27 days. So Ms. Ives is going to be here on June 16th, but I don't want to go that far out. So we'll set it for next Wednesday, June 4th at 10:30. Your bond is canceled. I don't want you to post bond and go to Pawpaw. We'll see if we can take care of this next Wednesday.
Fantastic.
You're good to go.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Ives. Good morning, everyone. We did not have the arraignments this morning. Judge Pattison had them. And we have only one sentencing set for 10:30, and we're about to address that. Jesse Joseph O'Shea, file number is 25819SM. Mr. O'Shea is in custody presently, and he's here this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
He's here with his lawyer, Rhonda Ives. this was a jury day and we didn't have a jury trial today, so it's relatively blank. I put this matter in here last week with Ms. Ives. And I've scheduled a few catch-up landlord tenant matters this afternoon. I have jail arraignments this afternoon because the magistrates aren't here. So we'll have some things going on a little later. In the instant case, the defendant is charged with domestic assault, second offense. Let me get into the file. That charge was reduced with a plea to domestic violence, first offense. Domestic violence first offense is punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. The defendant entered that plea on May 30th. So I didn't exactly set it 10 days out, but the defendant is in custody in the jail. Ms. Ives was scheduled to be here this morning, and he's wanted in a couple of other jurisdictions, and I canceled his bond. To credit the prosecutor's victim advocate staff, they're here, and they did get further contact from the complaining witness, Marissa Smith. And she is not here today, but she provided correspondence in the form of an email, which I'll read into the record. And it appears she's not asking for additional jail time. I want to start this by saying I'm in no way making an excuse for Jesse's actions. The actions that caused that night were not his alone. He should not be the only one to face consequences when I did wrong as well. He was absolutely not just abusing me. He had never put his hands on me before that night. It was mutually combative. We were both being very immature. We did not control our emotions in a healthy way. We together caused things to escalate to what they did, not just him. We were both the aggressors. I know Jesse, the real Jesse, while he's done his fair share of wrong or bad, he truly is not a bad person. He is loving, caring, hardworking, intelligent, and resilient, among so many other things. He is a good person who, like all people, has done some bad things. But that does not make him bad. And that's truly not the person he is anymore. He hasn't been that stupid boy who makes dumb mistakes for a very long time. He has grown, learned, and changed so much over the years. He has put in so much work to better himself in every aspect. Sometimes I don't give him enough credit for that. Everyone is responsible for their own actions, but sometimes you can push so hard, they're able to make you step out of character and do something you wouldn't normally do. And I did that to Jesse that night. I was mad about something small. I blew it out of proportion. I couldn't and wouldn't just let it go. I was saying things that were absolutely not okay, and I just kept going because I wasn't grown enough to control my emotions. So again, while I'm not making excuses for what he did, I'm explaining why he's not the only one to fault and why he doesn't deserve to be sitting in jail for something I took part in as well. I pray that for the little bit of time you have together, you can see him and hear him, the real him. And you know, this is not who he is. He is a good man who is more than deserving of another chance. And I hope you see that too. She doesn't say it didn't happen. She simply offers her perspective on it. The defendant also acknowledged to me that he pulled her hair and put her hands on her, and I felt that was sufficient for the plea. So she's sympathetic toward the defendant, and I'll take that into consideration. And thanks again to the prosecutor's staff for getting that on kind of short turnaround time. Ms. Ives, anything else you want to tell me?
Well, Your Honor, I know my client's remorseful. He needs to take care of these other issues. I think he's just sincere that, you know, he wished that, you know, the whole event did not happen, or he wished that he would have handled it differently. I hope that going forward, he recognizes that, you know, his past prior convictions aren't going to help him if he gets in future fights. So he's got to learn to control his emotions and walk away from, battles, and not aggravate them further. He's had a lot of time to think about this, and now that he's incarcerated, this is going to give him a chance to get these other matters taken care of, because I think he does have a lot of potential, Your Honor. And I think he knows that now that he's really had to have some reflection on the whole matter. Hopefully the court will give him time served and let him move on. Thank you.
Mr. O'Shea, is anything else you want to tell me?
I'm truly sorry about it. Obviously, I don't want anything to go back on her, so I would rather just like do whatever I had to do.
Well, I thought you were pretty straight up with me at the time of the plea on the 30th. You acknowledged that you pulled her hair
Yes, sir.
and put your hands on her, and
Yes, sir.
that's sufficient, whether it was a mutual or not. You're wanted in Crawford County, which is Cadillac, and you're wanted in Van Buren County, which is Paw Paw. And you've been in our jail for 32 days.
Yes,
I'm going
sir.
to give you 32 days jail credit, 32 days. This is a second offense, so I don't think, a need to put you on a domestic violence treatment program. She's not seeking that. You're wanted in these other jurisdictions. I don't propose a probation. I'm going to make the fines as minimal as I can. 0 fine, $125 in state costs or 2 additional days. And I'm going to waive the attorney fee. I'm going to indicate may be released to Crawford or Van Buren County. Well, there's a saying that I say a lot. It's also in Latin, but I'll say it in English. The truth is somewhere in the middle. And that may be the circumstance here. You two don't have any children together. There is not a no contact provision. I've simply given you credit for jail time served. Let you go to your other 2 jurisdictions. So nothing prohibits you from having contact with her. I think Ms. Ives's admonition was pretty on the mark. Keep doing this, you're gonna have some real problems, but you're good to go as far as this case is concerned.
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, that's it for the morning. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for getting.
Rhonda, you're very popular. You wanted in all 3 courts this morning, so you made the most of your trip over here. Thank you.